To my great nephew, Cole, good morning and welcome to Buffy's Private Expeditions 2023 Excursions into Tunisia. This series of letters is going to be addressed to my great nephew and namesake, Cole, and I hope you enjoy the adventures that we're having as well.
We are Cole and Lisa, an Anglo-American couple passionate about exploring the world, trying new cuisines, and experiencing different cultures. Our channel, Next Stage, is all about sharing our adventures and inspiring you to do the same.
Dear Cole, remember I told you last night that the wind would stop blowing when the sun went down? I lied. It blew about 30 miles an hour all night long. We're pretty tired. That being said, I had a flat tire, so I pumped it up to get here, and today I want to show you a few things. The first thing I'm going to show you is my trolley jack, which is an off-road one. It comes from the States where you live, and it's pretty cool. The other thing I want you to know is how to change a tire. And the first things you need to do is make sure you have everything ready to go. So let me show you the trolley jack. So how's this for a cool piece of kit? This is an alley jack that's made in China, and the wheels and the extensions all come from the United States. And it really has worked a treat out here. I've used it with several other people, helped them out. We even used it to push up on a piece of metal to break something on under a truck that was stuck. Worked great. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure the truck is safe, it's in gear and turned off, and I'm going to jack the front end up. After I break the lug nuts free on this tire. Remember, one of the rules is make sure you have all your tools and your spares ready to go, which I do. Hang on. Here we go. Lug nut wrench. Put it on there. Just loosen them up. There we go. Now, this is much easier if you have an electric powered tool, which I normally do, but this time, in order to save weight, I didn't bring it because I knew there were several other people who would. Note to self, always make sure you bring your own tools, because the one time you need it, that guy ain't around. Now, let's jack it up. Whew. How cool is that? That is probably the fastest jacking I've ever done. Now, since we broke them off already, we can just spin these off by hand. Now, if you have a big electric impact gun, you just go bzz, 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 like a race car. But I don't have that. Do it home, though. And let me tell you, last night, Andy and I were sitting there in our beds, sand blowing everywhere. Oh, all night long. We were in bed by 7:30. We were up at 6:30. Not that we got a lot of sleep because the wind and the sand was blowing so hard, but we finally did have to get up and go. So it took us about 4 hours to drive out of the sand dunes in a blowing gale of sand. Was that fun? Well, let's just say it wasn't easy, but it sure was a good adventure. Now, I had to pump this tire up because it went flat a few days ago, and I put a plug in it. And that plug is right there. And it holds air for about 3 or 4 hours, then it starts to leak. So that's fine out here in the desert, but we're about to go on the road tomorrow, and that's not safe at highway speeds. So I'm going to change it for the spare. And that way I know that if anything happens while we're on the drive home, I can always pump this one up just enough to get us to the next town to get our tire fixed. Notice that I'm putting the lug nuts up here. Why am I doing that? I do that because I don't want to leave them in the dirt. And if you leave them in the dirt or in the stones on the side of the road, you may very well lose them. That would be a bad thing. So I put them somewhere where I can get to them. Now, if you don't have a car with a flat fender, you can always put the hubcap down or a cup or a bucket or a towel or something to leave them on so you can absolutely see them. Now, Remember, I said you have to have your spares and everything ready to go because you want to leave the truck up on the jack as short a time as possible. So watch this. Pull this one off. Move it over here. Let it fall down. And I already have the spare off the back of the truck. So, hook this up here. There we go. Turn it. Get the studs right. And there we go. Spin these back on, at least one or two, just so that it can't come off. We'll spin the wrench down. Here we go. This is doing it old school. Here we go. And it's important that you learn how to do these things for yourself. Because could I have paid somebody to do that? Sure. And it would have cost me next to nothing here. The cost of living here in Tunisia in the Arab world is very low. But are they going to come all the way out to the desert to change it for me? No. And if they did, it would cost me a freaking fortune. So we have the tools, we have the technology, we have the skills to do it ourselves. So we do. So I'm going to spin these on. There we go. Just a couple more. Spin, 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 spin. Now, does your dad do this? Of course he does. Here we go. He just doesn't do it in the Sahara. So, there we go. Now I'm going to let the trolley jack down, and then we'll tighten it up. And everybody clear? All right, down. On the ground. Pull the jack out of the way. Now, what are you supposed to do? Well, if you do it by the book, you should find out the torque settings for these particular lug nuts. I don't have those with me, and I don't have a torque wrench. So the trick is, break them tight. Not so tight that you can't get them off or you'll hurt them, but tight. And you do them in a star pattern so they don't go around in a circle. About here. Ooh. So now that one could use a little more. Ooh, that's a good sound. Now we're going to go around and just tighten them just to double check. Oh. Oh. This is the one that went creak. Two more. One more. And there we have it. We've changed the tire. Can you do that? Of course you can. Looking forward to seeing you do it. Right. I got to get back to work and get things packed. Talk to you soon.
Whether you're a seasoned traveler or just starting to explore, we hope our content will spark your wanderlust and encourage you to step outside your comfort zone. Join us as we discover the next stage together, wherever that may be. Remember to hit the subscribe button and notifications bell, and let us know in the comments about your travel plans.